Are you overthinking your podcast decisions? Do you find yourself sitting for hours and hours asking, did I make the right decision? Is this the right call? Or should I just totally go in a different direction? If that is you, it is likely you are overthinking your podcast. So I'm going to share with you in today's video the 4 steps that I take to not overthink my podcast decisions. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Crystal here today, and we are talking about overthinking your podcast decisions. I see this happening all the time, right? There's so many decisions you have to make whenever you're starting a podcast. You have to pick a topic, then you have to pick a title, you have to figure out who your audience is, you got to choose your podcast artwork, how often are you going to publish, how long are your episodes going to be, are you going to do solo or interview? Like there's so many things that go into creating a podcast that I often see brand new podcasters getting stuck. And the worst part about it is a lot of you, yes you, I'm talking to you right now watching this video, you stay stuck, right? I see this. It happens so often. I will see people posting in groups that they've been thinking about starting a podcast for the last 6 months, yet they're still trying to tweak like the episode and the content, like it's just not right. And instead of staying in this area of like just being stuck and having a lot of friction and it doesn't feel right, I'm going to share with you the 4 steps that I use whenever I do get stuck in this overthinking, because it still happens to me. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm perfect, this never happens to me. No. Let me share with you exactly what I do so that I don't get stuck and I can keep moving forward in my podcast journey. So step number 1 is to focus on your goal. What is your goal? And this could look very different depending on where you're stuck in your podcast or where you are overthinking things in your podcast. So a great example is, what is your whole goal with your show? Are you trying to reach a certain audience, share a specific message? Whatever it is, you have to figure this out first. I actually like to use the example of podcast artwork. We're going to use this to apply the 4 steps today, but the first one, podcast artwork, what is your goal? Well, I want to focus on having a clear message that shows my personality and is easy to read for a potential listener. That is my goal with creating my podcast artwork. Now we're going to move on to step 2, which is planning it out. What do you actually have to do to create your podcast artwork? It's likely that maybe you need to make some decisions like having some brand colors, and you need to plan out what words you want to have on there. Do you want to have a picture of yourself? Where are you going to create this? Are you going to hire someone to create your podcast artwork? So I want you to have a goal. Then we're going to plan everything out, everything that you need to do to actually make that happen. And then the 3rd step is we are going to make a decision. This is where people start to get really uncomfortable, like, oh, wait, but hang on. I need to plan some more. I need to go research, right? Like, research. Can we just talk about this for one quick second, okay? Because people will tell me they're working on something, but really what you're doing, and I'm calling you out on this, okay? Listen up. You're Googling things for hours. You're reading articles about how to create the perfect podcast artwork. And you're like, wait, let me look up 75 more articles, watch 10 more YouTube videos, and listen to 7 more podcasts before I can actually make this happen. No. Step 3 is you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, because if you don't, you're going to still be in this same place 6 months from now or 2 years from now. I've heard this from podcasters. They're like, I've been thinking about podcasting for 2 years. And I'm like, then what are you doing? What are you doing? You're researching, but really what you're doing is procrastinating. And we can dig into all the other mindset things that are going on up here that are keeping you from getting started with your podcast. But I'm here to give you some tough love and tell you, you got to just make a decision. You have to make a decision and just put it out there. Because then when we get into step 4, which is revisit and reevaluate, then you can make some tweaks. Then you can say, oh, that was a terrible idea. My podcast artwork, which by the way, you can check it out right here. This was my original podcast artwork for the Rookie Life podcast, which I later rebranded to the Proffitt Podcast, which is what you see, hear, and love today. This is my podcast today, but it started very differently. And I actually did an entire podcast episode about this. You can go check it out here, crystalproffitt.com/episode 259. And I talk all about how I started with one piece of artwork and then I realized, oh, this was a mistake. And I go into why I don't like this artwork, why it was not the right choice for me, but had I not gotten started, I'd still be sitting like 3 years later having never started a podcast, never started talking about podcasting, and never started helping other people who have gone on to create their podcast. That's really what this is about. I don't want you to be stuck. Like, I'm thinking about all the people that you could potentially be helping with your message, but you're stuck. You are stuck up here saying, I'm just not good enough. I need to do some more research. It's not perfect. But the reality is that as long as you know your goal, you are able to plan it out and you can make a decision, then you can get to the 4th step of revisiting and reevaluating and seeing where you need to change things. So stop overthinking your podcast decisions. Okay? This is me begging you to stop overthinking. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you're just getting started, you're a seasoned podcaster, you've been doing this for a while, I'm going to encourage you to just take action. Take action, have your goal, plan it out, make a decision, and take some action so you can come back and revisit and reevaluate. Okay? This is your tough love talk for the day, okay? I hope that this was very helpful, and if you are brand new around here, hit that thumbs up and subscribe below. That way you don't miss our future videos all about podcasting and running your online business. Put in the comments any questions or comments that you have. Tell me where you're stuck. Where have you been thinking and overthinking and thinking again and feeling overwhelmed and Googling and YouTubing and all the things? Like, where are you stuck? Where are you stuck right now? Because I would love to help you get unstuck. And if you are brand new around here and you have not checked out our Podcast Launch Toolkit, I'm going to link to it in the video description below. But this is the toolkit that I wish I had whenever I first started, because it can actually help you get your podcast up and running in the next 30 days. If you are stuck and you're overthinking all the things, and I want you to go listen to the podcast episode, go grab the podcast toolkit, because it will help you. It will help you get that momentum, get that traction that you need to get going. So it's toolkit.crystalproffitt.com. Go check it out. It's going to be linked below, but that's all I have for you today. So make sure you go check out these videos right here, all about podcasting and running your online business. Make sure you come back every week. We put out new videos all the time. So come back if you love what you're hearing about podcasting. And as always, remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.